The following program was provided by an independent producer solely responsible for its content. The opinions expressed do not necessarily represent the views of this station, its staff, board of directors, or underwriters.
Hey there, everybody. Welcome to the Happiness Jungle TV show with yours truly, the Chief Happiness Officer, Lyn-Dee Eldridge. I am so excited today to bring to you one of a dear friend of mine that I met over a year ago. Huh, Luann? It's been about a little over a year ago. And I had the greatest pleasure of meeting this woman who I had no idea what she did, but she literally brings science into the homes for children and parents to really grasp onto some of the most unique concepts with science. She's an author of 42 books and CDs, printed in how many?
Let's see, I have over 6 million books with my name on the cover. And that book that you're about to hold up has been translated into like 30 different languages.
Wow. Wow. And the reason that I asked you to come on the show, Luann, is because you've inspired me so much in the last year in so many different ways. First of all, I'd like to tell you that I've had your book on my shelf way before I met you.
You have?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God.
Oh, yeah. And when I met Luann is when I'm like, stop, shut the front door. The author of this amazing book that I bought at Barnes & Noble, and it was amazing. It's about the skeleton, it's about our inner bodies, and this book, when I went to a retreat last year, and that's where I met Luann, and I found out that she was the author, I was like a little girl. I just wanted to talk to her, and what I found out is that the woman is a wealth of information. You're incredible.
You pull out the good in people.
I do, don't I?
I'm okay. But
No, she's quite delicious. So I'm excited. I'm excited to have you on the show today, and we're going to speak about a lot of different things. But I could assure you that there are things on this show in regards to nutrition, our inner bodies, how to take better care of ourselves, children and adults, that are going to help you so much. So if you don't have a pen and a paper, you just might want to get one, because we're going to start educating you on really how to fill your soul with nutritional value every day and over the holidays. So welcome to the show, Luann.
well, thank you
So excited.
so very, very much. I tell you, Lyn-Dee, you are amazing. Like, you just really pull out the happiness in people. Like, no one can have a bad day when they're around you.
Oh, I love you. I asked Luann, what's the title of our show going to be? What's that title going to be? And she said, what's food got to do with it? I love that. So what does food have to do with it, Luann?
Well, in short, everything. Everything. Food, every single time you open your mouth and you put some kind of food in it, depending on what your choices are, you're either building your body up or you're not supporting your body so much. So it has pretty much everything to do with it.
I want to go from the beginning, and then we're going to come back to where you are today. Because today you really are a nutritionist in my eyes. I mean, you help people so much with cleansing their souls, cleansing their bodies. As a matter of fact, you and I are on a cleanse right now.
We are.
Aren't we? We started yesterday morning.
Yes, we did. Don't we look cleaner
Don't
already? We're all cleaned out now.
It's cleansing.
Things are moving.
And it's wonderful. It's absolutely wonderful. If you'd like the recipe for the cleanse, we're going to make sure that you can get in touch with Luann. But it's delicious.
Yeah.
It's wonderful. I thought that it wasn't going to be, but it is. It's right on target. But I want to go back to your book. Okay, I really do, because your story is going to resonate with so many people out there. There are people out there that would love to write a book, be an author. There are people that just wish they were in the right place at the right time, meeting the right people. Okay. I got to have you share your story.
Well, I'll go with the right place at in the right time. And, what is it? I think it was Louis Pasteur who said, luck is where opportunity meets preparation. So, I always followed what I wanted to do educationally, but I never really planned on writing books with it. And when that book actually came along, I was working at the Science Museum, and then had gone to work with a science exhibits company making big science exhibits, and we knew how to make exhibits. I was one of the owners of this company. We just didn't know how to run a business, so we were actually folding up and calling it a day. And I said to a friend, I need something to do. And he goes, I know this publishing company who could use you. And so he brought me to the publishing company. I lived in Seattle at the time, and I met with them, and they were like, wow, okay, well, could you write some kids' books for us? I said, oh, sure. So they said, all right, we'll give you this contract. They gave me a contract to write 10 children's books. I'm like, oh, okay, no problem. I walked out the door, and I'm thinking, I've never written a book. I don't know how to write a book. But if they think I can, and my friend thinks I can, who am I to dispel their beliefs? So I started writing, and thus that kind of, so it's like the science author part, it's not always how you think. It's not like, oh, you got this burning book in you that has to come out. In some cases, that's true. Sometimes it's just being ready for when a great opportunity comes your way.
Well, you published 42 books.
I know.
My goodness. My goodness. The message there, everybody, is at least whatever you're passionate about, because you were passionate about your business.
Oh, yeah.
Your business folded.
Right, I was. And I was mostly passionate about science education. So I was working at the Science Museum, doing science education, and always, putting science in the hands of children and their families. And so that was true with the exhibits company, too. And then it kind of folded into becoming true with books and now with nutrition. So it's kind of been a theme.
Yeah, yeah. And in our life is a theme. Follow with what you want to do. Other doors will open up along the way, and then gradually you become what it is and who it is that you would like to be.
Right.
So this is, I got to hold it up again. It's one of my favorite books. Barnes & Noble. I'm sure it's on Amazon too, right?
Yeah, it's everywhere.
I'm sure it is, but I don't know if you could see it or not, but literally each page, it literally dissects us. It just takes us, and it allows us to educate ourselves on different parts of our bodies.
Right, and actually, okay, like, so I also, as a science educator, I have like activities in the corner. Try this. So like eat asparagus and then go smell your pee.
I wasn't expecting that. Go smell your pee.
Or like get my nutrition stuff, junk food, tastes good, feels bad, or why you get that sugar rush, or, so just kind of the ew factor. Kids want to go, like they want to learn stuff, but it's got to have some like, ew, really? Okay.
Oh, that's so good. That's so good. So, Uncovered Human Body by Luann Colombo. I highly, highly, highly recommend it for adults and for children.
Oh yeah, people don't know where their body parts are. It is amazing. They don't know their bottom from their elbow, but
right. Well, that's true, and so that's just, it's an amazing book, and I hope that you enjoy it as much as I do, and my kids and my grandchildren are going to enjoy it forever and ever and ever. I love it. I absolutely love it. So today, you are more about nutrition.
yes,
And helping people. Like I said, you and we're now on a cleanse, 12-day cleanse, and it's going quite well. I was quite skeptical, but
ye of little faith.
yeah, and it's delicious.
Right.
It's delicious, so I can't even complain about the taste or anything, and I'm starting to feel nice and cleansed.
Well, every now and again you want to reset and just sort of clean your body out, because we do a lot of things that just are not so supportive of our body. So if you just kind of stop and clean things out sort of like your closets or like your refrigerator.
Right.
Just reset. Press the reset button.
Yeah. Give us demonstrations. We're people that are visual. So share with us about the nutritional balance.
All right, I was thinking about this. It's like, what are some things that that people just kind of don't think about that much? And one is that, one of the real root causes of pretty much all chronic and most acute illnesses and situations is inflammation. And our bodies are full of inflammation. Inflammation is when each cell is swelled up just a little, and it just starts pushing against the cells and making things redder and swollen and causing like all kinds of things. Cancers, diabetes, arthritis, many, many, many issues are caused by inflammation. And one of the things that helps to counter that is anti-inflammatory foods. So anti-inflammatory foods come from produce. And I don't know if you remember that pH scale of, it's like pH is like acids and alkaline. And alkaline foods support our body. And alkaline foods are things like, if you look at that pH scale, this is like way down here at one end of the pH scale. And those would be things like kale, greens, the leafy produce. Fruits would be moving on up the pH scale. Water is neutral. And as you get down on this side, on the acidic side of foods, which are not supportive of good health necessarily, but there's things like sodas and processed foods and sugars, and dairy can be inflammatory, meats, can be more on the acidic side of foods. So when you're choosing your foods, even if you are consuming acidic foods, also neutralize them with alkaline foods. So eat produce during your meal so that you're at least countering some of the other things that you're eating. And when I think about like that pH scale again, it's like I think about, hold out your right hand. This is the food. Think about what you would be choosing that would be alkaline. So there would be either an apple, spinach, what would be other alkaline kinds of foods, other produce?
Oh, I'm not the scientist.
Produce. You need to go grocery shopping, don't you? Broccoli.
Okay.
Okay, so when you're thinking about picking up things that are on the right side, this would be the right food to eat. So this happens to be a pomegranate, which is very nutritious and very, very good for you and very alkaline. And so then when you think about the other side, more of the left side of your food, the acid side, so you're thinking sweets, processed foods, those are the things, those are on your left, those are the acidic foods, those should be left on the table. So this is the right side, the right foods to be eating are the alkaline foods, and the ones to be left on the table are the acidic foods.
And walk away from the table.
Walk away and nobody gets hurt.
Oh, I like what's on the table. Most of us like what's on the table, right? I know.
It's okay. It's not like you can't eat those things. And if you do, though, just know that you're not particularly supporting your body. You might be supporting your soul, and that's okay, too. That's just as important. Just make sure you also eat some produce in your day. And actually, interestingly, the government, or it had been originally suggested we eat 3 to 5 servings of produce a day. Then that went up to 5 to 9. Now it's more like 9 to 13. And they can raise that bar to the mountaintop, but that's not going to really change people's habits that much.
Right.
But just knowing that the quality of our produce isn't as good as it had been either, because our soils are depleted, our farming practices in many cases are not as good. Even like a cup of broccoli now, or a cup of broccoli from 30 years ago would take 20 or 30 cups of broccoli today, given normal farming practices, just to get the same nutritional value.
That's a lot.
That's a lot. I know.
Wow.
I know.
Wow. Green beans, Brussels
Good.
sprouts.
All of them. And each
those.
color, thank you for mentioning that, each color has different nutritive properties too. So eat that whole rainbow. So even in your day, look at your plate. If you're eating all greens, that's good, but try adding a little red. So peppers and tomatoes, add some orange, each different color has different nutritive values for you.
I've never heard the rainbow philosophy before.
That's what it is, actually.
It is. I didn't even think about that. The rainbow philosophy. That makes great sense, though. It makes great sense.
Good.
Okay,
Yay,
rainbow
yay.
philosophy. So we're going to add the lettuces and the carrots and the peppers and
the blueberries and the pomegranates
and the strawberries,
and the squash and all the whole color.
Oh my goodness!
Or like when you're with your kids in the grocery store, let them pick a color and then go pick out that color. Pick out something of that color. And then if the child is involved in what you've selected or what he or she has selected, they're a lot more likely to eat it.
Oh, wow. Now, I don't have young children anymore, but my grandchildren. I'm going to do that with them.
they pick
because
it out.
sometimes they're picky.
It's like, oh, today could be a purple day.
Right.
Let's see what's in the produce department that's purple.
Wow.
And then we'll let them pick out a purple food, purple cabbage. Do something with it. Coleslaw.
Coleslaw, purple. Well, that's big. I like that.
Cool.
That's a great tip.
Cool.
Yep, I think we're all going to be rainbowed.
We're good. Rainbow Nation.
Yeah,
Excellent.
Rainbow Nation. That's all right on the table. Fantastic. Yeah, I love that. So the other thing that I know that you're very, very passionate about is really helping people stay on target. I think that you know this. I'm now becoming a breast cancer survivor.
Yes, you are.
Yes, I am.
Survivor,
I'm
no
in
doubt.
treatment. But I'm so happy. You know, we come back into our lives. People come in and out of your lives, but it doesn't mean that you're detached. And you came back in my life again, like 2 months ago when I was diagnosed with my breast cancer. And it was wonderful because you helped me get on a better regimen for my health. And I can't tell you, I feel so much better. And it's because of how you educate us.
Well, I know when I saw you, I was just like, I hope to God you are eating a bushel of produce every day.
And
you
I
were
wasn't.
like,
Yeah.
and you are now.
And I am
You are now.
And yeah, and I feel it, and I'm healing, and it's completely, I could feel it in my body. It's completely different. My metabolism is different. Everything is different because I'm feeding myself better. And you used a sponge and a broom philosophy with me. You have, you have to share it.
Hey, you got a clean house. It goes right along with that detoxing. You got a clean house. And actually, what she is alluding to is fiber is your friend.
But don't overload. I overdosed on fiber one day.
Well, if you, okay, but that's really hard to do. I mean, I'm sure you did. I don't doubt it.
Yeah, yeah.
But fiber is your friend. And actually, fiber there's soluble and there's insoluble fibers. And the soluble fibers are in things like oatmeals and like the pectin of the fruit. Those are like soluble fibers. And what they do is they sop up. So that's like the sponge or the mop. They sop up excess cholesterols and fats and sugars that are in your body, so they kind of like absorb and sop up those extra things. And then the insoluble fiber, which is like the roughage, the leaves, the outside of like the apples and the skin of the food, of the produce, the insoluble fibers act more like the broom to sweep it away and down the bowl.
Okay, so is eating the skin good?
Yes.
Okay.
Eating the skin is good because that very often, in most cases, that's where there's a lot more nutrition in the skins of like the apples and the potatoes, and maybe not bananas, but I guess you could, but it's not a normal practice.
Yeah.
But yes, and when I see people like peel off and throw that away, I'm like,
Right.
Kind of like when you juice and you throw all the fiber that still has a lot of the nutrition in it. It's like, no, chop that up, make something, banana cake or I don't know, or like, something.
Because my granddaughter will inevitably ask me to peel the apple. And I'm like, but you're missing the best part. And she's like, no, it gets caught in my throat. So I decided that I was going to peel the apple, but then I was going to boil the skin a little bit.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
You know, and it's tasty. It just added something. And I even added that to some salad dressings just for that
idea.
sweet.
Or you could put it on like oatmeal too. Like you can like chop up and put on oatmeal, that kind of a thing. She would never even know. Or put it in a smoothie. I mean, like if you're going to make a smoothie, don't, peel the fruit. Put the whole thing in there. I took like a whole orange. I did take the outer skin off, but that white pithy part, that's also very soluble fiber.
I was just going to ask you about that because usually I will try to get every bit of the white off.
No. That
with
really
an
is
orange.
the soppy uppy. That's good soluble fiber. You do want that.
Soppy uppy.
Soppy uppy. So there you go.
Wow.
There's my mop and broom story.
I love. Do you love her mop and broom story? Are you going to think of fiber differently now?
Are you going to go clean your house?
Yeah.
Sweep your floor.
Yeah. And I have to tell you, I don't recommend anybody do what I did when I went on that fiber. That's all I ate in one day. I didn't balance myself. Like you just explained, balance
Balance,
yourself.
right.
I didn't balance myself, and I went on a high fiber crave. Well,
Yes,
boy,
you did.
it hurt me.
Ouch.
It hurt, yeah. It
And
was,
drink a lot of water. Especially if you're going to shift your diet in any way,
right.
drink extra water, because water just kind of helps things flow along. It, it dissolves. It just makes things move a lot quicker. Kind of like if you think of like cake batter is really thick.
Right.
If you dilute it, things like just go smoother.
Yeah. Okay, holidays, whether it's Christmas, whether it's Valentine's Day, Thanksgiving, Easter, all these wonderful holidays, okay, Passover, all these wonderful holidays.
Are all centered around food. I mean, it's just really shocking. At first I was thinking the holidays, December. No, wait, we could start with Thanksgiving. And when I thought about that, first of all, like that Thanksgiving dinner, as your Christmas dinner, as your many holiday meals are like about 4,000 calories just in that meal, which is like 2 or 3 days worth of food that you're like overeating in one meal. And one of the suggestions for like any big holiday meal or any big meal of any kind is to get your exercise early in the day. Even if you go for a walk, where you're at least like getting your metabolism going, you're getting your blood moving, you're getting things moving, so that your metabolism is sped up. So then when you do eat like too much, at least it's being used up and burned a little quicker.
Oh, I don't think I didn't realize that I should walk before a meal.
Yeah.
And then I go into a food coma.
And then you don't want to move after, which is why for me,
go
personally,
into
I
food
like
comas.
exercising early in the day, just because then it
Yeah.
sets your body up for burning more. You burn a lot. Like after you exercise, your metabolism is burning many hours after you work out, which brings me to exercising. So, like we talk about, exercising versus diet. So which would you think would be more important in like, weight management, balancing your health? Would be more diet or exercise?
Oh, wow,
Where would you put the emphasis?
Oh, my goodness. I think they're both important. That's a good question. Oh boy, you're testing me. I would think food, because it's, of course, nutrition within, but exercise is too. Oh, I'm going with a 50-50 on this one.
50-50?
How'd I
That's
do?
a good, not accurate answer. That's a good answer, though. It is definitely an answer. It's more 80-20. It's more like diet is more like 80% of what, quote, feeds, whether you're going to like lose weight or not, or like your health issues. And exercise, although very, very important, still only accounts for about 20% of that balance. So they're both very, very important.
Right.
But I love the line, you can't outrun your fork.
You can't
outrun your fork. So even if you are like exercising all day, but you go and eat lousy food, a lot of acidic foods that are over here on the left side, and a lot of junk foods, and too much of it, that's nice that you worked out all day, but it's not as helpful as if you had eaten better.
Right. You can't
Outrun your
fork.
Can't you just picture that fork trying to
That's
run?
hilarious. You should do a cartoon. Have you ever done a cartoon before? Oh, you need to do a fork.
A fork
cartoon.
outrunning
Yeah, I
your
got to be
fork.
careful with that. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, right. Watch it.
Exactly. Oh my gosh, that's great.
Back to holidays though.
Yeah.
And then I was thinking about that. It's like every month has a holiday in it. We are always finding some excuse to, whether it's like candy at Valentine's Day, or it's, beer on St. Patrick's Day, or it's whatever the holiday is. There's some overindulgence that is also associated with it. Right. And so I was thinking of like kind of helpful holiday tips. Things like, if you're going to go to a party, especially if it's like a potluck where it's appropriate to bring stuff, bring some kind of healthy food so that you are guaranteed to have something to eat when you get there, because you just don't know what's going to be served.
Right.
So that's one little tiny hint. Make sure if you are overindulging, you're drinking a lot more water. Just again, it keeps things flowing. Eat as much produce and eat more alkaline, as we talked about, and I can't overstress that enough. Getting enough sleep. Sleep really does reset. You're burning off. You're like cleaning out a lot of toxins when you're sleeping. So when you sleep, once you wake up, you really have collected a lot of toxins, and drink a big glass of water to help flush things out that you've collected overnight. De-stressing if you can kind of keep that stress level down. It's
That's what I do. I help people keep their stress
yes,
level
you do.
down. Yes,
Miss Happiness
I do.
Jungle, you are the anti-stressor, and that is hugely important because poo happens all day long to everybody, and it's how you take it in. And if you let it eat your body, it will.
It's true.
It will. And if you don't, and your attitude is like, gee, that's a shame,
Right.
it will move on out and not cause the havoc that it could.
Wow.
So
I love it. I love it. Okay, I want to shift because we only
Okay.
have a few minutes. I can't believe it. It's
I
almost
know.
over.
I know.
First of all, from my heart to yours, I give these out all over the world. I love you. I thank
Oh,
you
I love
so,
you
so much.
too.
I know my audience thanks you too. You're amazing. From my heart to yours. From my heart to
Thank
yours.
you.
I love you. So here is another book. And this book is hilarious. It's fun to read. And I'm going to have you share it. We have a very short time, but it's called How to Have Sex in the Woods. How to Have Sex in the Woods. Share very quickly about this book here because it's a great read.
Okay, back about many, many years ago, I with a publishing company, and there was a book that was called How to Poop in the Woods. And that was a title that was out, had sold 500,000 copies. And they're like, okay, how to have sex in the woods, that would work. And I said, oh, I can write that book. They're like, you write kids' books. I said, trust me on this one, I can write this book. And so I proceeded to think of, all right, people's favorite activities, having sex, being in the woods, and just made the Venn diagram of those activities and what would be in there. And I brainstormed all different topics. So it has things like packing for safe sex and other emergencies, whining and dining in the woods, how to outrun a bear with your pants around your ankles, and other very practical, important things to know. And as I was writing it, everybody has a story to tell. Just ask them.
Oh, my gosh.
Everybody has a story to tell.
So there you go. Another great read is How to Have Sex in the Woods by Luann Colombo. Luann, how do they get in touch with you?
I think my number is on the, please feel free to call, text, or email me. It's luanncolombo@gmail.com, and my number, 978-479-4110. I would happily chat with you about your health, your nutrition, your life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness.
Yeah.
Because it really is an inside job. And what's food got to do with it? Everything. And if you care at all about your nutrition, you will make much better food choices every single day.
Wow. Luann Colombo, everybody. I hope that this show here helped you out in every possible way. Have a wonderful day. Happiness Jungle signing off for right now, everybody. Thank you, Luann.
Thank you.
The preceding program was provided by an independent producer solely responsible for its content. The opinions expressed do not necessarily represent the views of this station, its staff, board of directors, or underwriters.